Well, right at the epicenter of this issue is school safety and the changing reality of education in the shadow of mass violence. Dr. Donna Hanlon leads the Wicomico Public Schools District. Thanks for joining today. Dr. Hanlon, on this, this is an important discussion that we're having. So I'm just going to dive right into the questions and ask, first off, how are Wicomico schools handling this issue of gun violence?
Well, let me begin by saying that school safety is our top priority. We have and continue to build upon the number of initiatives that are in place to ensure student and staff safety. But specifically, all schools are required to hold a number of drills, anywhere from your traditional fire drills all the way to much more complex drills where we're preparing students in the event of an event such as what we're talking about today. Tabletop drills where staff and administrators and even community agencies come together and look at a variety of scenarios and how you would respond. One of the most recent things that we've done this year in collaboration with the Sheriff's Office is something that's called ALICE training, it's an acronym that stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform. And
we get the idea.
Okay,
yeah.
so it's a number. The purpose is to just emphasize the idea that every scenario isn't going to result in the same response. So we want administrators and staff, and in some cases students, to be prepared for a variety of scenarios and how their responses may be different.
That's interesting. Now, one of the questions that I had is, how is this changing the face of education? Because, I'm thinking about, way back in the day, when we were having maybe a world war, there was a different type of drill that people would have in school. And now here we are present day, and we're looking at issues of mass violence. Right.
Well, I think probably the thing that's paramount with me and in education today is the importance of relationships with students. We want, many times what we find in incidents like this is it's a result of some kind of mental illness, perhaps. And so the more we can build relationships with students, not just students who may be having difficulties, but students who may have an awareness of something that's going on. We have a campaign, See Something, Say Something, that's throughout the country, I'm sure, but we have been communicating with our families and to students the importance of no matter how trivial you may think something that you've seen or heard is, that it's important to speak up with a trusted adult. So we're really, really emphasizing that importance of communication between students and adults. So it's always been important, but it's of paramount importance now.
So the school district is really relying a lot on the community really to be their eyes and ears.
Very much so.
Okay,
Very much so.
Well, so moving to another question, how or where do you stand on the issue that it's controversial, but some people are saying what needs to happen is that teachers need to be armed, to protect kids. I was having a discussion earlier about this, and not everyone really agrees. Where does Wicomico Schools stand on that?
Well, I personally don't agree with that. I think teachers are in schools to teach. That's what they're trained to do. I think for the most part, the majority of teachers are not trained. They're not equipped physically or mentally to have the responsibility of carrying or discharging a firearm, especially in a crisis situation. So again, we have a very strong collaboration and partnership. We have school resource officers in all of our secondary schools, and actually those individuals, those school resource officers, are also assigned to elementary schools as the need arises. So we have our schools covered, and we believe that's their responsibility. We're not trained in that way.
Dr. Hanlon, do we have any numbers? I know you have to know how many kids are part of the school district.
In our school district,
yeah.
15,000.
That's a lot of children. And how many schools?
24 schools.
24 schools, 15,000 students.
Right.
Wow. Are there any upcoming events where you're going to be talking to parents or students about this issue at all?
Well, we're continuing. We continuously talk. We believe that the most important communication is between schools and families. So I know our administrators are constantly communicating with parents about incidents that may be occurring in schools. We have a phone messenger system where even if there's a rumored event, our principals are great about communicating the facts with parents, which is critically important.
Sounds like you guys are really on top of things. Well, thank you. We have to take another short break. We'll be right back.